Hi folks, I'm just going to make a series of about 5 or 6 videos refuting some Islamic apologist, Ijaz Hamza and others, and so this is what it's all about, the historicity of the Gospels, but in particular the Gospel of John. In the debate and discussion with them, I mentioned this Quranic text. It says, "Bring therefore a chapter like unto it," Surah 10:37, Surah 10:37 to 38, Surah 2:23, Surah 17:88, and Surah 43:34. In the Quranic text, it talks about it's verified by bringing a text like it, and if you can't, you've not refuted the Quran. This is a subjective methodology, but that's the way to verify the Quran according to the Quran. When Muslims are trying to do scholarship on the Gospel of John and say this is not historical, they're not using a Quranic method and they're not being consistent. And I was trying to point out to them that they're not as objective as they're making out to be, that we all are biased. You know, if you was to turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5, 2 Corinthians chapter 10, 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5, it says, "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ." We bring all scholarship into captivity to Jesus Christ. They bring their scholarship into captivity to Muhammad. We, a false prophet, we bring it into Jesus Christ, the Son of God, our scholarship. The atheists use scientific naturalism, which denies miracles. That's who their Lord is. Yeah. So your methodology is, you've got to test it and see where the bias is, and do your scholarship acknowledging your bias and then considering whether your bias is consistent. Now, he mentioned methodological neutrality and Mike Licona, and I gave page 109 to page 111, The Resurrection of Jesus Christ, Mike Licona, A New Historical Approach, IVP 2010. And I just mentioned that I'm well aware of his methodology, and even Mike Licona acknowledges that we have biased, and he goes into 100 pages to discuss this issue, but they were not willing to, Ijaz Hamza and Hamza and the others, they were not willing to go into and talk about their bias. I talked about Rudolf Bultmann, and they weren't aware that Rudolf Bultmann's methodology in form criticism says that the Gospel of John couldn't have been written by John because it was like Chinese whispers developed over time. The theory there rests on the idea of communities created books rather than authors. And I wanted to call Ijaz Hamza out on this, that he quotes the Rudolf Bultmann on his website, is using out-of-date scholarship, and yet he's trying to critique the Gospel of John, not being aware of Rudolf Bultmann's methodology has been exposed in modern scholarship. But they wouldn't let me get into detail and grapple with these issues, and he wouldn't acknowledge his own bias.